online cross community domino team, pretty much, because I'm coming from the has over 100,000 members on Fanbase alone. On Facebook alone. Meta, whatever you want to call it. That don't even know that they can monetize their content, and they've been pushing for over 15 years. So it's past Clubhouse and all the other type of stuff, right? And we have things that state to state and everything else, and we have a large community base that's stuck over on that platform that need to know about what's going on over here. So doing things like cross community challenges and tournaments is one way of doing it. And then also we have started forming what's been coined by my boy DJ Swag, but called Preamp. And Preamp is pretty much basically a live stream. We like to call it the stream before the stage. You know what I mean? To where you can utilize these Fanbase audio room apps, and you can live stream and do a behind the scenes where you can talk to the artists and whatnot from a live stream before they even make it to the amped up stage. You know what I mean? Whatnot. But it's doing things like that. And then you can also, one last one I'll say real quick about the spotlights that I like. The fact that we can start spotlighting communities or organizers, whatnot, from other communities, but throw it over here, so where not only do we get them, but we get their whole following over here, because this is where their award coming from, or whatever the case may be. You know, and doing things like that, because Fanbase has so much over here right now that people just need to be touched by. And I'll land with that.
No, agreed.
Kyle?
Great answer. Hey. Thank you so much.
Have you have you thought about this? I think that there's inside of the chat right now in the community, someone Scales just made a comment, and I tapped on her comment. I wanted to give like her comment likes or even hearts. Is there a way you can start talking to the people behind and say, why can't we give hearts or likes to people comments inside of the chat?
I think they're working on that.
Yeah.
I think they're working on doing that. I'm not sure if I was supposed to say anything about it, but they might be working on that.
So there is, like, I'm sure that not almost any, but a lot of the ideas, for like reacting to chats and stuff like that, has been on our bulletin board, over time, right? And with the chat being upgraded, the audio chat being introduced originally, and then having it stay permanently, right? Like that being the newest update, is that it stays permanently. So if you leave the room, come back, it's still there. That was our most recent chat increment. That kind of feedback, though, Adonis, is perfect, because we as the marketing team take that down, right, as notes, any kind of feedback like this as notes, and we relay it directly to the team that is, gonna ultimately be responsible for implementing that, that feedback into an update or into a feature. So yes, we do directly talk with the teams that, can make that happen.
I brought up one time, real quick. I brought up a couple times actually in the Thursday meeting about a program. You know what I mean? A family program. So we're.
Oh, you're cutting out a little bit, Domino.
Through so that we can promote.
Oh, Domino, you were cutting out that whole time.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty much what I was saying is that I spoke about before about a Fanbase affiliate program, to where people can get some type of recognition for supporting their creators and their camps, especially considering that this is a new platform that's getting ready to explode. You know what I mean? And we're some of the founders of it. Well, I wouldn't say founders of it, but beginning of another surge coming up. You know what I mean? So that we can actually get paid for not just supporting the app, but also the camps and the creators on these apps, because the more numbers, we all grow, whether it's the app or the camps. It's still the same.
Yeah, 100% agree. Actually, working with the product team and actually trying to get programs in place that do this and do it really well is pretty top of my priority too as well. There's a couple of providers that do third-party software. One of the toughest things is mobile apps or affiliate programs. You give them codes are okay to use, but they're not always great, especially from the passive side, where if you have a referral code and you kick it around, it doesn't always give you full attribution unless someone manually enters it in. There's ways to automate that. So when you actually, share your affiliate link to your Instagram or your TikTok, or you share it around as a QR code or wherever you stick it, when people sign in and download the app, it actually can give you attribution of it, which is really what I like for affiliate programs versus forcing people to enter in the little long code hashes and things. It's a little less, exciting. Plus people don't do it most of the time. If you tell someone to put an affiliate link in, they click it, it's probably 10% that actually will do it versus the other 90% you don't get credit for it. So any affiliate program we do, I'd want to see full accreditation to whoever's bringing those people in, which is super important. And like I said, there's creators that drive tens of thousands of people to their profiles. They don't always make accounts, but they do click their profile, and that affiliate link encourages people to have them follow them and things like that, and install the app and sign up and follow their page, things like that. So expect a ton of improvement on that side. To kind of dive into it. Huge priority.
Yeah, I was about to say, and that's why me and Andrew, we're going to be, now that I've got, some of the stuff off of my plate, I've got some of the things that I had at the top of mind prior done. That's you and me going to be meeting a lot about that.
I don't know if she's still on if she's still on stage or whatnot. How do you pronounce her name? Mari? But you can do that through the CRM platform, you know what I'm saying, that's utilized, that she utilized. So it's like pay links and whatnot that do exactly what you just said. Exactly. And it'll be contributing straight to the person at the same time. You can get the analytics from it. And everything else. That's another thing when I was speaking about, we was talking about the Linktree. Linktree is the company, but what they do is they are linking bio pages. Linktree is not the only one. Koji was on deck, and Koji is actually better than Linktree, but Koji didn't have the...
Bro, can you spell Koji? How do you spell Koji?
It's Koji, but they just have been... Hold on, slow down, because they had just been purchased by Linktree. And one of the reasons why Linktree purchased them is because Koji was designed to where you can do video, but you can open up economy stores and whatnot, and do direct monetization for your community and whatnot. And so Linktree just bought them, so Linktree is even going to be even better now. But one thing Linktree doesn't offer is what's going on now is you can pretty much live stream to web pages. You can live stream to link in bio pages. You can add your communities to link in bio pages and everything else. Pretty much turning your link in bio page into a real-time portal when you include Fanbase. You know what I mean? And it can be a real-time portal where you can do, it's just so many different possibilities you can do through that, straight from these audio rooms and the link in bio link. You know what I mean? And whatnot, to where you have, like I said, real-time engagement jumping off. So those are the things when I was talking about tech unity and technology growing. But real quick.
I love that. I have to just share that, the two areas of focus for me right now, this is Nuria, the two areas of focus for me right now are Fanbase and Telegram. So, I love Telegram because, and I'm brand new to that site too, because I'm trying to get my people off WhatsApp because that's owned by Meta. And Telegram allows me to have 200,000 people in my group chat, you see. I'm also connecting with Superphone. So Superphone is another one that, has been widely used by people who are doing really well, multimillionaires. And I've had some mentoring around that. So the three things that I'm focusing on right now, number one is Fanbase. Number two is Telegram. And then number three is Superphone. And then based upon what you were just sharing, bro, Domino, I'm also looking at another site that I'm not familiar with called Podia, because it allows you to do all of those things. I'm already on Patreon. I just have to, it's on my link tree. It's just not active right now. So I've got to make some shifts and changes. But Podia is another one that allows you to do, almost everything that we're talking about here. So I'm going to check that out. Maybe at the next meeting, I can kind of give you an update and see how that can connect to what's happening here.
Yes, ma'am. It's technology. It's multi-platform integration that's pretty much going on everywhere. You know what I mean? To where all these platforms is joining together. So because they're trying to keep up with us, because we need everything. We want everything in front of us. We do so much things, especially as creators, and we own so many different platforms. You know what I mean? We don't want to have, and we can't have everybody skip from platform to platform to platform to platform. So now they have all these technologies coming out that's integrating everything together. You know what I mean? Telegram, I love Telegram. You can have 200, but you also can have multiple. You can get to 400,000 when you do the little $5 premium and do the. You can have multiple groups and whatnot. But Telegram kind of scares me.
Yeah,
yes, ma'am.
You cut out a little bit, bro. Okay, you said you can. Telegram allows you to 200,000, but then you can do 400,000 where?
No, you can do 400,000 from Telegram. That's the limit when you do the premium, and you can have multiple groups. So you can have, 400,000, 400,000, 400,000, 400,000. So if you do things in multiple languages, you can have a group for every language. You know what I mean, and whatnot, and stuff like that.
Got it.
But the thing is this: it's all about, like we talk about here, coming from Fanbase. We talk about owning what we put out. So in order for you to own what you put out, you pretty much almost have to own every aspect of it. So they have things going where they have telegrams that you can actually white label. You know what I mean? And those are chat apps and things of that nature, community apps and everything like that you can white label that comes with the same features that these owned by other people come with. So before I get off real quick, I want to make it official to Mr. Kyle and also to another one of your members, to where I would like the team that I'm forming. I already have the influencers in my own community within the online domino community, where the captains and the champions and this, that, and other. What I want to do is what I'm doing is forming a cross community team that's built from Fanbase members as well as my own online domino community members, that we are going to be challenging people. I would like Fanbase to start hosting as well as taking part of these tournaments and whatnot, whether we do state-to-state tournaments or whether it's something that where we highlighting certain communities on the app or whatnot. And we can do that all through these audio rooms, and at the same time, we can connect them we can make it big enough to where the verticals on the app and the lessons of the monetization, the love economy as well.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, so you're trying to use the domino tournaments as like a vessel to market, build, and like strengthen communities, like that kind of thing, yeah?
Yes, but it's bigger, a little bigger than that. We talking about common denominators. We pretty much talk about something that, like the brother was talking about before. Mr. Adonis was talking about something that's going to build. I forgot the word that he used, but competition and everything like that. Nothing's more competition than tournaments. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot. And you talk about leaderboards and everything that y'all spoke on today. That's why I said this room was the best room that I experienced with it connected to this marketing period. Because everything that y'all spoke on is incorporated within pretty much what's on your desk already when y'all open up some of these emails. I mean, some of these messages that I hit y'all on the back with. But it's cross-community challenges where the engagement and everything comes from the Fanbase app. You know what I mean? And it's through the fact that you can be in these audio rooms and you can put the link above our head. That link could be to anywhere. You know what I mean? Whether it's a live stream platform, whether it's a virtual platform, whether it's somewhere like Zoom, whether it's somebody's YouTube channel, whether it's like we talked about before, whether it's Telegram or what have you. You know what I mean? We control where that is. But where you put it, if it's something like, for the sake of argument, we talking about link in bio pages. Let's leave it there. You can actually have your link in bio, like my PCR says, click the link in my bio. Basically, I do link in bio pages where you can live stream to and from. You know what I mean? I can live stream these audio rooms, whether you're doing it from your phone, whether you're doing it from computer. You know what I mean? Along with connecting registration forms, chat rooms, whether it's, you know what I mean, QR codes and the whole nine right there. It can be a world within this world, and it's all connected where you don't never leave Fanbase. You know, so when you use that and you connect that with tournaments and challenges, events and spotlights, independent artists, like we was talking about the preamp. You know what I mean? Those type of things is what's going to increase these numbers, and it's going to open up a bridge between other platforms to where we can get their numbers over here.
Echoing that point, it's like rock solid. It's like one of the things I say in meetings every once in a while is like Fanbase is the end point of the internet. If you know Reddit really well, Reddit calls itself the front page, but being the end point where you drive, and one of the goals for Fanbase, I think, is going to help them a ton, is that, you know, driving your audiences to a central place that you can have your content posted, you can have your link in bios, you can have all of that, and also be able to monetize. It's probably not super easy to monetize in a link in bio. There's ways to do it, but having an independent platform that handles the payment, you know, through like Stripe, that handles out the revenue side, that has a community built out for that, who's doing those types of things, is pretty huge. And having an endpoint, like, you don't want people to leave their social channels. It's still good to have certain channels and certain pages and followings, but you just drag people over this way to monetize. Something that Patreon hasn't done fully well, which is like the monetization chain and like being an endpoint. It's hard to make content on Patreon that translates over to Instagram. You can make a Fanbase post that you could also carry over to Instagram to promote your page, or you could create a good audio room where you have a good snippet and you're listening to it and recording yourself, and be able to take those little snippets and carry it and make some small content. You know, AI drives a lot of that. That's going to be a huge change to, you know, a lot of content being generated. I'd love to see us explore some of the AI tools that like lets you remix content, or, you know, take an audio room like this and it just kind of summarizes like good key points, and then build some content that you can take and then post on your own channels. Like stuff like that's huge. And those types of tools and softwares are out there, and getting them integrated into profiles is going to be, you know, massive. And that way you can kind of work off like a wheel and spoke where, you know, you're creating content here that you disperse out to other channels that drags people back over to your, you know, your core Fanbase profile where you actually monetize. My last stat, I'll kill you guys with one more stat, is that the average American uses 8 social media apps every single day. And when you think about it, that's crazy.
Wow. Yeah,
like,
I'm one of them.
I heard it the first time and I was like, there's no way. And then I like counted and I was like, holy shit, I actually use like 7. I didn't use 8. So I was like, okay, like I don't use all 8 of these, but I'm like, I can see people using Telegram, using WhatsApp, using, you know, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, if they're using Threads, Spill, Fanbase, Instagram, etc. And you're like, okay, that does add up really quick. For a creator, how are you supposed to post to all 8 of those places? It's pretty much a full-time job at that point. And getting ways for us to make that easier is going to be huge for creators. Very much on board with that. Yeah, man.
I have a but like
great insight, bro.
That was really good.
Yeah,
Andrew or Spicy Tuna Roll. He's you know, if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on him being the smartest one in the room when it comes to insights, man. I'm telling you guys.
All right, Adonis got a question. Go ahead, Adonis.
Yeah, come on.
Kyle and Director, now that it's the last day for people to gift their favorite creators, and the creators get 100% of the donation of the loves that they're getting right now, now that it's going to be the last day and it's all going to be over, what is the future of the funding creator economy look forward to now for your position? Like, now that this is done, this is a great experiment. This is a great opportunity for us as well. We actually enjoyed it, and we're looking for ways to maximize on the next opportunity for this. Can we see in the future this being a consistent thing? With I don't know how to say it, but with like particular social things, like is this going to be a consistent thing, or is this
let me chime in? Let me answer for Kyle. I don't want to speak for him, but like I know one of Kyle's duties is to every day he has to basically come up with ideas like that, like this Valentine's campaign. So Kyle literally sat in the office and was given a task like, hey, come up with something. So he came up with the whole idea and everything. Creators get more love, all of that. He came up with all of that. So he has to. Hold on. Go ahead.
How long did it take him to do that?
How long did it take what?
How long did it take him to come up with this idea in this situation?
Well, so it's not really the idea. It's more about it's the thing that takes the longest is the actual outline and like the deployment of the campaign and the coordination between all of the teams that are in it.
I think that this was a really...
Essentially, I know, I don't know what's coming in March, right? But if he wanted to do something like this again in March, or, if he wanted to do something like this every 2 weeks or every month, I'm sure he can. How fast would it be able to, get it done from idea process? I'm not sure because, that's the dev team. They have, once we implement the idea, then they take it, the dev team takes it and they have to okay, how are we going to do this? So they do all the in-app work and all of that. But, to answer your question, I'm not sure. I know Kyle has a few more things planned. We have a few more campaigns. We have a campaign, more than one for each month. So I know each month you guys can look forward to, something similar to the Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly. So, how long did it take? Well, to actually come up, once I got okayed for everything, right? That part, was a whole day of outlining the duties and expectations from every team. And then but prior to that, it was...
It's not a lot, it's not but
prior to that, though...
Right?
It's not, because prior to that I had, I might have had 4 or 5 other ideas, so this one stemmed and it branched from another idea, but the other ideas, were hey, change, that kind of thing. So my goal though is to have something like this. Oh, and they got a lot of feedback.
Good.
So so the goal though was to again test how this was going to be received, how this can work, and then get all the feedback, and then how can I make this this campaign the main feature of the campaign, right? Where creators get the more revenue, right? That was the main goal of the campaign, is to allow creators to gain more revenue from their supporters. Now, I'm okay, how can I turn this into either a longer, more semi-permanent thing or permanent thing overall, right? Okay. That was the endpoint of it.
He's working on it. He got
So how I see it from a marketing perspective, I'm thinking I think of it like this. Like right now, you're thinking of how creators can get more out of the campaign, but I wouldn't think of it like that. I would think of it, how do we condition the community to make this a consistent staple in the reality of fan base itself, the ecosystem? That's how I would think of it, and that's how I would suggest you to start thinking of it. Because the more people we get to start becoming like this and say, okay, yeah, we're gonna give loves, and everybody starts to get into it, the creator's gonna make money regardless. So instead of thinking about the creator making the maximum amount of money, think about like, how can we incentivize the community to make this a staple in the culture of fan base? And then the creator's going to make extra 10 times. It's going to 10x. You know, that makes sense?
Yeah, exactly. And so I think, like, so what you're saying right there is what I was trying to kind of convey. I probably just wasn't conveying it properly on my end, right? But it's like with each campaign that I have, the outline is very strategic where there's a goal that I'm trying to accomplish, right? But like, so the success of the campaign overall is one thing, but like what determines the success of the campaign, right?
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, like that's what I'm saying. Like whatever determines, or whatever I have as the determining factor of the success of the campaign is usually something that I'm trying to, like change, add, whatever.
So can I ask you a question
within the, yeah, go ahead.
Be honest, like a straight honest. In your head, if you had to rate this campaign from a 0 to 100, what would you rate it? Straight on back. Don't think about it. What is it?
So I can't say that right now because I haven't seen all the insights until tomorrow.
All right, so you're basing it off analytics.
Okay. Well, so yeah, without the analytics, I'd say probably an 8 out of 10, and that would be on my side though, because of looking back, right? So not just with the feedback from this room so far, but like looking at it, like I think it really hit me Monday of this week where I looked at some of the messaging that we used, and the promotional assets and stuff, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have worded this a little differently, or like kind of like change the narrative of this a little different, to kind of show what we were really trying to accomplish out of the campaign, right? And that's on me from a learning standpoint of like, hey, okay, now I know what I should have done there, so then now the next one is going to be even better, right?
So congratulations on successfully accomplishing your campaign. I think everybody in the community completely rides with that. Congratulations. You definitely deserve that. I'm very proud of you and very happy for you to sit there and say, I want this campaign to work and have this idea. And everybody says, oh, they notice it and they acknowledge it. So 100% congratulations. Now, from an analytical perspective, when you look at the statistics of what you've accomplished and the numbers from this month to the last 3 months, last 90 days and this month, are you gonna how are you gonna be able to assess if you made a dent or not? And then when you do look at that, how would you gonna be able to assess if you made a dent or not in the ecosystem of the finances itself? And then the question that you need to ask yourself is, how am I going to 10x the next opportunity for that to happen? Because you already have you see that this is something that the devs and Isaac and everybody in the behind the scenes says, I like this, let's do this for now. But how much money are you going to be, basically, how much money are they going to be able to lose until because right now you're on a deadline. Every time you do one of these campaigns, you guys are losing money, right?
Yeah, because we don't take anything. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have about 2 more shots at this until it actually becomes a staple and becomes something, until it's gone, basically. So you're going to go back probably today or tomorrow, look at the analytics and say, damn, this is the analytics. I'm going to have to show this to the group and the team. And I'm probably going to have 1 or maybe 2 more shots at this, but I have to do it better. So right now, this is going to be one of the most critical times of your life right now. You're going to have tons of anxiety coming up in the next month or so. So what I'm asking you is, because right now you shot an idea out, it hit randomly. Oh, you're excited it happened. Now you looked at it, you hit, and you're like, all right, now how am I going to 10x this to show results to my bosses and my community? So my question, what I want you to ask yourself is, what is a successful campaign for you? And what is a successful campaign for the corporation? That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So successful campaign for me, right, would be accomplishing the certain KPI, right, the one that I've defined as the success tracker for the campaign. At minimum would be accomplishing it because I set it high. But obviously I want to, do better than the expectations that I put, right? So that's my vision of what I determine like a successful campaign. The successful campaign for the company, I would say it's successful for the company if I show that it's successful. And that might not make sense, but the reports that I do post-campaign, right, with all the insights, all the feedback, everything like that, I put it all into a presentation, and it's basically me justifying, like I said, justification of like, hey, this worked and this is why it worked, right? And this is why you, talking to the rest of the team, right? Like this, when I talk to Ramiro or Isaac, I can show them like in the presentation, this is why it worked. This is why it's important that it worked. And like, this is why it's important we continue to do this or add on to this for the future. That's what I deem, and I would believe they deem as a successful campaign, is when I can justify the success of it and show them the value and importance of what we accomplished.
So then the question to you is going to be basically like, what is the exchange of love rate throughout the full month, right? Like that's you're going to have to be able to prove to them that we've exchanged more loves between this 1 month than we did in the last 3 months.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So here's my advice right now. One, incentivize the top creators who are always on these audio rooms. I don't know. Figure it out. If you want to do, I want you to succeed at this. I like that you have a lot of pressure. You put a lot of pressure on your back. You came up with the idea, and it's just a lot of people saying, if this fails, that's on your ass. So this is what I would say. There's a couple of audio rooms who are constantly, Scales is one of them. There's a couple of audio rooms who are constantly here, who are constantly a staple in the Fanbase community. These particular people, I would suggest you and the rest of your team gather up a handful of them and tell them that this campaign is going to happen, and I need you guys to join on board to start pushing out content and making this a staple in your statements throughout using the app for this month. Why? Pause. Now, even though you can't, assuming you can't pull in funds from the actual Fanbase ecosystem or the Fanbase pockets of Isaac itself, you say, one, if you get a couple of creators to actually back you guys and push this in within the ecosystem to make this a staple, when the next round of you doing this, if the numbers 2x or 3x, you can say, okay, this worked. Now this is what I did with these particular creators. Now let's try to get these guys paid so they could constantly do this throughout the year or throughout 3 months or so. And then this will change the equation because right now I don't feel like any creator in the audio rooms that I watch or listen to and stuff like that, we knew that it was here. We announced it some here and there, but it wasn't a staple in our audio chats and talks. It wasn't something that was like, ad break. This is what we got to talk about. Did you know that we get 4% of the donations that you guys give at this moment in time? So please show your love, not your anger. This is not something that's been added into our wordplace. So if you choose a couple of creators who host really big rooms, even the UK people, there's one person over there who's really killing it. Every time they do an audio room, it's like 30, 40 people in it every time. You put them all into a group, a private audio room, and you say, look, I want to build this team, the Avengers, blah, blah, blah. We're having this campaign. And if this thing goes well and we need you guys to be on board, make content about it, whatever you want to do on Fanbase. Because the people who's going to make Fanbase successful is the people that's on Fanbase right now. Every love that's been shared is all about the people that's on Fanbase. So you lock down the squad of people who gather huge amounts of audiences, who people actually listen to, and you tell them, look, every time you do an audio room, I need you to push it for this 1 month. So the next time when you drop that opportunity like this, the numbers should 2x or 3x up. And then you go back to Isaac and say, look, we need to start paying these creators that's on here to work for us. And and it's going to change the whole ecosystem. Like, I genuinely believe that. It wasn't until TikTok Live started doing the head-to-heads and stuff like that, and the creators started saying, come on, donate, give me, come on, let's go. And they was incentivized to do it crazily, that TikTok Live started going crazy. So that's what I would suggest for you. Like, if I was to put if I was you, that's exactly what I would do. I would look at people like Skells, DJ Swag, I would look at Durant, and I'll put them all in a group, even the UK people, and be like, this is what's happening right now. I need a push because I want to change things for the economy and the system. Give me about 30 days. You're here anyway. Just add it into your cycle. Add the promotion into your cycle. And I guarantee you, I believe that it's going to change. The numbers are going to start going up, and it's going to prove you correct. That makes sense?
Yeah. No, 100%.
You're a content creator now. Welcome to the family.
100%.
Adonis, bro, you're rocking your spot, bro. You are breaking the shit down, and I appreciate that.
No problem. I really think that this app is going to be something huge in the future. It just takes the right amount of people with the right amount of mindsets around each other. And then when you gather up the right amount of people with the right amount of mindsets, it's literally going to become unstoppable. So I'm just sitting here waiting, pacing my time, watching it. And I suggest everybody do the same thing. Don't ever lose hope or faith, because I don't know, there's something, this app has something, the people in here have something, so it's very interesting. So yeah, Kyle, particularly for you, the fact that DNA, director by DNA.
Yeah, that's Andy. Yeah, I know his name on there as directed by DNA, but you could call him Andy. He's our video. Yeah, he's our editor, producer for Fanbase, for the creative team. And
the fact that as soon as I asked you that question, he came in and was like, this was his idea. This was all him. Shows that, bro, you got a lot of pressure on your back right now. That you're causing your corporation at this moment in time to lose a lot of money. So the next time you go about this, you know the objective. You know that you came where the analytics are going for. Okay, well, you have a whole bunch of people who are already on the app who have significant power and influence on the app at this moment in time. It's time to pull all your pieces together and make a big push and change not only the creator economy here, but as well as change the way people perceive you in your ecosystem. So that's what I would do if I was you. Good luck. I wish you the best. And I'm very curious to see where you're going to go by it.
Yeah, great job. I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate that, dude. I do. Thank you. Real quick, Andrew.
Go ahead.
I'm like, my thing is, and it's in my bio for the Fanbase profile, but I am here to help empower you and empower creators on this platform. So that is exactly my goal, man.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, Adonis. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and expect and to help Kyle with this too. Expect more opportunities for like revenue changing events. As someone who crunches numbers all day, there's a huge incentive for creators to make a fair amount on platform for their work too, and especially being like top tier who bring in lots of folks. But expect the revenue opportunities to change, where we what you can monetize off of and how you monetize. Enhancing that side is going to be huge as we go the next couple quarters, but also like those revenue splits and not keeping them where they're at now is going to be pretty important too. Letting people have the opportunity to get out of the 50-50 split and migrate up to like higher tiers 75, 25, 80, 20, if not higher, depending on the creator. Like this like for a startup, it's like we leave like kind of the platform rules of things aside, because there's huge incentives for platforms to, instead of focusing on like their own revenue, and this is platform startup 101, is that they don't have to worry about revenue. I've worked with startups for the past 6 years, running their business intelligence and strategy across the board. And a lot of times revenue is like, for the org itself, is like kind of minimal. It falls into like the third or fourth tier. It's kind of crazy from like a business perspective, but the reason why is that a lot of that is driven to drive virality, to drive adoption of the products and what services you're providing. And if creators are the lifeblood of that, incentivizing them to do things is huge. And giving more opportunity for them to earn a higher share of their work and their contributions also really huge incentive. I mean, it wasn't until like, and it's a completely opposite example of like gig economy, but it wasn't until I think last year around Q3 that Uber actually became profitable. Been around for like 12 years, and because they didn't need to worry about revenue, and that's daunting to think about. And so startups have the advantage of being able to like really drive growth and adoption and get creators here to rehome. And there's a huge incentive for the platform to have people bring their followers over, and also get them on Fanbase too. We can take the L for a while, which is helpful, and that's like super important.
Exactly. And see, Andrew, that's why you and me are almost 100% of the time in sync on things. And if not initially, I mean, we're there. Like, yep, that whole statement, I should say, is, very insightful. I mean, that is what it is, and like, I used to be a full-time content creator for a couple of years, right? Recently, and so I know the struggles or pain points. I knew as a creator like what I wanted to see, what I wanted from platforms, like what I wanted, ideas I had, and that's why honestly, man, like this does not even feel like a job for me. I mean, like Adonis said, it is stressful at times, but like, it just doesn't even feel like a job to me. It's like very passion driven, like while I'm not the creator that's benefiting from, things that I'm implementing, it's like what I would have wanted, like as a creator, like looking from the creator's perspective, like, what would creators want, right? And, I have an inside look on that. And then I have everyone here, the awesome community of Fanbase for feedback on that, right? And idea suggestions, that kind of thing. So I love it. That's why I love it.
For me, when I sit down and I look at this situation, there's a lot of creators who talk about, subscriptions and all this different type. For me, as a creator, I work well because I'm not selling you anything. And the reason I say this is because I gain a whole bunch of views and engagement with my audiences on platforms because they know that I'm not selling them anything. And that's what makes them want to tune in consistently over and over and over. So when I look at a platform like Fanbase, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, there's tons of creators that will optimize and use the subscription bases I don't need any of that stuff. I like the competitive edge of making the best content and making the best, environments or the best chats or the informative type of stuff that makes people want to constantly keep consuming the content over and over. And I don't want my audience to actually to brand myself as a salesperson. So when I come to this room, I'm like, let me give you a couple of insights of how you can best help me give you the maximum amount of what you need, so I could turn over and pull over hundreds of thousands of views. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. And I do want to say one thing. I'm trying not to say sell too many different times, but don't sell yourself short on not being a salesman, right? Like, while you might not see yourself as a salesman because you're not selling a product specifically, you're selling yourself as like an idea, right? Like, you're selling the idea to your audience, and the new audience that they don't need to go pay, for someone else's content because you're going to create and give them better content. Like you're selling that idea to the people. Like that's what you're selling, right? So it is a different approach than selling, a physical item, but you're still technically a salesman, right? Because you're selling that, that thought, like that mindset that your content is, like what they should be consuming because it is more impactful. Like it's not, like what you said, gimmicky or the other thing that you said, but it's, it's your content. You're selling your content to the masses, right? So,
yeah, I'm giving it to them. No, I'm not even giving them. I'm just posting what I like, and I just post it at the highest quality. And if you like what I like, then that's cool. If you don't, then that's cool.
Yeah,
And it's that careless mentality that makes them say, okay, I'll watch. Oh, wow, this is interesting, and it's informative in its own way. But for you, like, generally, I'm a little nervous for you. I'm really a little nervous for you. And I'm very curious on what's your next step, because it's very difficult to look at your team and then your boss and say, we're not going to make any money off of this, and we're going to lose money from every single interaction, and I'm going to be the reason why. So,
yeah. No, and see, I understand that standpoint, right? Because I mean, like thoughts like that, they do go through my head, but at the same time, while you and I have only interacted, 2-3 times on audio rooms, me as a person, very confident. Like I'm, very, like I'll say what I, what I believe, right? And that's like that kind of confidence behind, giving those ideas is what makes giving the, pitching the ideas a lot easier, right? Because, they know that I'm going to tell them something that I'm confident about, and I can back it up with, the outline and structure for it, the document for it, like, some of the insights from Andrew, right, that helped me, back up what I'm, suggesting and pitching, right? So, yeah, it is stressful, but at the same time, I kind of like chase that stress, right? Because I want to accomplish that.
I'm very curious on how you're going to be able to accomplish part 2 of this. And I'm very curious on how you're going to be able to accomplish setting the bar for yourself throughout this process. I'm very curious to see where this is going to go, because I think that this is a very big step for the creators on this app, and how you use and have the creators backing you guys. Because right now, you guys, I'm going to be straight honest with you guys. Everybody comes to these audio rooms to see what you guys have to say. I come to these audio rooms to see because we all have our own ideas. And just like we're in your audio room, is like you guys, other people in our audio rooms, we all have these interesting ideas, but you guys are the people behind the scene that actually can make an effort to change things with incentives. So I'm very curious on if you can accomplish these things. This might be a very changing point for the creator experience on Fanbase. I don't know. We'll see. It's up to you. It's up to you guys, actually. It's going to be literally up to you guys. Because right now, you basically told a business that we're not going to make money, even though they're not making much money. You're not making money, and this is what we're going to do to help creators. Now you basically going to have to figure out a way to get the creators to back you guys in the PR and in the motion to prove numbers can be possible, which Isaac already knows, which you guys already know it is possible. And with that turnover, with that one-time turnover that you're going to get, if you possibly can get the right creators to support you and back you, you're going to have to sit there and say, okay, it worked. Now build up a package and a plan to get those creators to not only assist you in the future, but get Isaac to be able to back it as well with the rest of the team. That's going to be crazy. That's really going to be crazy, because you're basically going to be asking for free labor for this particular time and help me help you. And then after that, you can even pull the Joe Biden situation where you promise a whole bunch of things and none of it comes down. none of it comes to fruition.
Wild.
Or they go the other way with it. So, like, it's very interesting. It could be a very changing point for this app and for the people on this app. So, this possibly could be something I've been waiting for. Let's see.
Yeah. And hey, man, curiosity for you and for everyone else, all I gotta say is, stay tuned, man, and see what happens. Because with the team that we have now, man, for marketing, I genuinely believe the sky's the limit, right? And I'm not gonna say that to try to have like a happy feel good kind of thing, because for me, if I say something right, like compliments, stuff like that, it's like my confidence in the team that we have now, it's genuine, So yeah, I'm definitely excited for it, man. I love the curiosity from you and from everybody else, and stay tuned, right? I do need to go ahead and end the room though, because I am about to have dinner. This room though was extremely insightful. I love the engagement from everyone. I was not able to check the chat a bunch, so if you guys were in chat trying to ask me something, I do apologize. I promise I don't hate y'all, or I'm not ignoring anybody. I was driving the whole time, so that's why I couldn't look at the chat. But I do appreciate this room. I appreciate everybody coming, staying in the room, right? And all the feedback that we had, because now, me and Andy, tomorrow,
we get to bring it to the big dogs.
Exactly,
we get to go sit with the big dogs and say, hey, man, this is what the users want, man. We need it done ASAP.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that, but yeah.
No, but it definitely holds a lot of like weight when when like me and Andy can say, hey, this is
what the users want.
Exactly. This, like, when we say that this is what everyone that uses the platform wants, right? Like, that's what holds a lot of weight as well, right? So yeah. But again, gotta go ahead and end the room. We'll be back next week for Wednesdays. Tomorrow's room for Rama for his Tech Talk. Don't miss that either. It's going to be another good one. I mean, his room is always great as well. He does similar to what we do for marketing, but he does it on the tech side, like more. He dives deeper into the product side and the development cycle side. So if you guys want to stay up to date with all of that's going on in the background for devs, product cycle, roadmaps, don't forget to go to his room tomorrow. He hosts them every day, every Thursday at 5. It's Tech Talk with Rama. And yeah, I look forward to hearing feedback from all of you guys. Like, I want more of it, my messages are always open. You guys can always feel free to email me. Please do. I promise it will not be annoying. That is my job, is to take feedback and make something out of it, right? So, but I hope everybody has a great rest of your night, and I will see you guys next time.
Thank you.